Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So today we're gonna be covering 5 study tips that I think every single student should know, whether you are in university, college, high school, whatever it is, because all of these are tips that I use that actually worked for me. And it's kind of more than just the have a planner and set a designated time, which those things are important too, but it's gonna go a little bit more in depth than that. So let's just get right into it. So if you find yourself kind of getting stuck on a concept, what I do is I record myself teaching that concept to my younger self, because this is kind of based on that whole scientific study that determined that we do better when we're teaching something or when we're learning something to teach it instead of learning it to take a test. So put yourself in that teacher role and become that teacher for that concept. No looking at notes, no explanations or anything, just everything that you know about it already, try to teach it, and then I rewatch it and see where I kind of stutter or where I'm kind of hesitant because I don't know what I'm saying, and then I focus on those parts, study it again, and then re-record myself and teach it again. So that's kind of how I deal with that. So the second tip, so this one is especially for when I'm reading. I ask myself questions while I'm reading and then write those questions down, because a lot of the times I'll read and I cannot even remember anything on the page. So to kind of overcome that, you kind of have to actively read, so kind of engaging yourself in the reading so that you create that interest. Even if it's not really interesting, kind of try to fake it till you make it type thing. Like act like you're interested, like this is saying this about this topic, oh, what does that mean, or why is this the case type thing. And then I write those down, and then I try to get the answer for those questions later on. And also to help with that active reading is like reading it out loud. So the third tip is, when you're about to study, bring your favorite food or your favorite drink with you as you're gonna go sit down at your desk or stand at your standing desk, whatever environment you like, because I don't know, for me it kind of helps prep me to get me into the studying mode. So I'll get some tea, I'll get some juice, whatever it is, just so that I can kind of ease into it. And to also add on top of that, especially if you have like your favorite snack with you, kind of try to use it as a reward. Like, I mean, this might not work for everyone because the temptation and stuff might get to you, or you might get distracted and just sit there and eat. So I completely get that. But if you do have that self-control, then I would definitely say bring your favorite drink or food with you, just to kind of get you in that whole mode of being ready to study. The fourth tip, and this is something I always do, especially with courses that have a lot of multiple choice questions, is to make flashcards while you're doing your reading. While you're in lecture, take notes on the flashcards that you're gonna make in the future. Because with me, like, flashcards help way more than rereading notes, just because I get bored sometimes and then I zone out and then not even remember what I'm reading, so it's all a waste of time. So I just use flashcards. You can turn it into a game, you can use apps, there's Quizlet, there's Anki, all sorts of apps out there, and that's what I do. I use apps because I'm a little lazy to just write all of those flashcards down. So I personally use Quizlet. So just find what works for you. If writing works better for you, then get those Dollarama flashcards and just write those down, because it will help you to get into that mode of active recall. And if you don't really know what active recall is, and I can go over active recall quickly if you don't know what it is, but there's a lot of videos out there about it, and it's definitely the way to go when it comes to studying. So active recall is a memory process that involves moving info from your short to long-term memory so that in the future you can reproduce this information without the use of cues. So an example of this is, of course, flashcards. And I personally use Quizlet because not only can you make your own, but you can also find ones that are already there. Like, for example, if you wanted to search up ones about the digestive system, you can just pick one and search through the content to see if it's relevant to you, and then there's different options that you can do with it, and you can scroll through to see if they're good flashcards. So with this, you just want to avoid flashcards where there's the term on one side and then a block of text on the other side, because that's just going to force you to try to remember a definition word for word, and so you definitely want to avoid that. And of course you can always make your own, but if you prefer finding pre-existing ones, just try to avoid these as much as possible. So the final tip, when you're frustrated, when you just cannot get this, when you're getting mad at the teacher and you're getting mad at life, just get up and walk away. Get up and walk to your kitchen and get some juice, walk to wherever, just make sure you get up and walk away. And then when you come back, do something completely different. Do a different subject or a different homework that you have to do, just to kind of clear your head of that frustration. So personally, personally when I get stuck on something, I'll just get more and more frustrated, and then it's a downhill spiral. So I'll tend to switch to a different task, but I bring that same frustration from the old task to the new task, and then everything is just making me mad. So I feel like that getting up and walking away kind of just refreshes me to be like, all right, you know what, girl, calm down. It's not that serious. It's just a class. You will get this eventually, and then come back to something completely different, preferably something easier so that you can get that motivation back. But just walk away, come back, switch to something else, and then come back to that old task with a clear mind. So that's it, guys, for these study tips. I hope you're able to take something away from this video that you haven't tried already, and maybe try it out and see if it works for you. But those are the stuff that work for me. So I hope you enjoyed that, and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you next time.